That's right, another Tuesday edition of the Fantasy Football Show. We have a special guest over here in the corner. TikTok's watching. I'm streaming live over there, building up the brand over on TikTokville. If you aren't following me on TikTok, go over there. Same channel, same handle as the YouTube handle and the Instagram handle. Let's do the intro and get to it. Glad to have you guys all here. Marco, you're always first into the chat, buddy. And damn glad to have you. Here's the intro. Top 5 running back. You're watching the Fantasy Football Show. What is up? Glad to be here with all of you. Nick in the house. Nick, I can't ring the bell. There are people sleeping in Casa de Smitty right now, Nick, but I'll give you an IOU. As I told everybody here in TikTokville that if they followed me, I'd see it here because it tells me when people follow me over here on my new platform that I'm cranking content out on. Go over to TikTok and follow me. You may laugh at that. A lot of you older people in my crowd, you might think, oh, TikTok's for kids. It's growing. So jump on over there, follow me, same handle, and you'll see a lot of fun stuff over there that I'm doing. And if you guys have a question over on TikTok, throw it my way. And I should be twitching more. I need to do that, but we'll see. What's up, Ugly? What's up, Savvy? What's up, Nick? What's up, Alba? What's up, Navarro? Silva? Dylan? Marco? Always glad to see you. Bryson? What's up, Bryson? Oh, Bryson. It's Future from TikTok. Nice to see you over here, Bryson. Welcome to the show, bro. I like it over there. It's fun. It's fun. I have so much I have going on though. It's literally hard cranking out content on like 7 different platforms. And this is why a lot of people do focus on 1 or 2 and they let a couple fall to the sideline because it's so hard to keep up. What's up, Double A? Double A in the house. Ball is Life is in the house. And yes, Nick, I'll help you with a question. Hit me with it. Let me throw you on screen, Bryson, since you're new. Bryson, toss your comment on screen. Ball is Life, just checking in. I'll be here later, fellas. Thank you, Ball is Life. Glad to see you here, man. Zachary Linton in the house. What's up, Zachary? What's going on, Jose? Dylan wants to know how many TikTok viewers you getting. It's between like 3 and 10. Goes up and down, which isn't bad, you know, considering I just like got on there. Double A, for once not stuck at work when you're live. Double A, it hasn't been a while since I've seen you. Now, let me talk about one thing that's been on my mind, and I know it's been on a lot of your minds. Does anybody remember a little guy named Umberger that dropped $100K on the Super Bowl on the Chiefs to win minus 1.5? Umberger won 100 thou on that game. I am excited for you, Umberger. Where the hell are you? Get in here and let's celebrate your win. 100 thou he put on that. Can you believe that? I cannot believe Umberger did that and won. Freaking phenomenal. What about the Ravens? What about him, Sharky? What about him? I think the Ravens are a top 5, 6 team for 2020, if that helps answer your question. Derek says, what up, King Smitty? What's up, Derek? Damn, 3 to 11 p.m. shifts. Nick's question right here. What's good, Jose? CMC, $166 for 1 year. Debo, $10 for 3 years. Or A.J. Brown, $4 for 5 years. Plus Lamar, $15 for 3 years. What's your question, Nick? I like Christian McCaffrey, even though it's a boatload of money. It sounds like it's a $500, $400 league, so that's not that bad, actually. Debo for $10 for 3 years is really good, but I'd rather have A.J. Brown, $4 for 5 years. I'd much rather have A.J. Brown. I think A.J. Brown is looking like a top 5 wide receiver trapped inside the body of a man you draft in the, I don't know, 4th or 5th round. Yeah, Umberger, dude. Umberger dropping the 100 thou on the game. Do you think David Montgomery will be a true Bears number 1 starter? Miami, that's a good question. And I think that I would be stupid to answer that question. Nick, if you have a follow up on that. I'd be stupid to answer that question with authority because nobody knows what Nagy, nobody knows what that Chicago offense was even thinking in 2020, and is that 2019, and is that thinking going to translate into 2020? Is the talent there? Absolutely. I see your Nick Foles question. I'll get to that in 1 second. Do I think that they are more apt to using him in 2020 than they were 2019? I hope so, but I don't know the answer to that. And I'd be stupid to tell you I think, oh yeah, he's going to be used heavily. I don't know the answer. All I can tell you is that talent-wise, he is a top 10 running back talent. And I don't care what happened in 2019 in terms of painting that picture, that his talent is his talent. I'm separating that for a moment and telling you that talent-wise, David Montgomery is a top 10 running back talent-wise. He is. He truly is. He's a tackle-breaking machine. He did amazing things in college. He was a tackle-breaking, record-breaking running back in college. He looked fantastic in the short little preseason clips that we got to see. We were fortunate enough to get a glimpse of him when they used him properly. And then even when they were giving him a lot of carries toward the end of the year, they were horse crap carries, man. They were not good carries. They were not good plays. They were not good field position attempts. They were a bunch of garbage carries that David Montgomery was getting. And so, yeah, he'd get 18 totes, he'd get 19, he'd get 21, and people would be like, see, he's getting the carries, he sucks. But if you watch the film on David Montgomery, he's getting hit as soon as he gets the ball. He's hitting the offensive line immediately with no solid hole created for him. It's not like David Montgomery's a tackle-breaking machine. If you know what you're talking about and you're watching the film, and I'm not directing this at any one of you, but if you know what you're talking about and you analyze film and you look at the plays, you don't just look at the stat or the box score or the stats, then you know that David Montgomery does not get tackled by one guy very often and just not break a tackle. That's what he does for a living. He's a tackle-breaking monster. So trying to blame it on him is crap. If you watch the game, the Bears freaking sucked. And they put him in no position to do well, even when they gave him the ball. And I think that he's just one of those players where, like, we gotta dig into the offseason a little more before I can really give you a clear answer on that. So I'm sorry I don't have a clear-cut answer for you on that. Let's see. The question over here on TikTok was Nick Foles back from injury. What about the Ravens? And then you said Foles. I don't know what your question is about Foles, but Foles is like a very questionable player for fantasy reasons. I mean, the dude, not sure what to think of him. Nothing. He's not really relevant in fantasy to me. Monty showed his ability for breaking tackles. I think there's just poor offense last year. That's what I'm talking about, Jordan. That's where I think Lev Bell got too much hate. He was getting hit every time he hit the line of scrimmage. I agree with you, Dylan. And if Lev Bell went to Kansas City or Tampa Bay, he might be irrelevant once again. And I got him in a mock draft. Some of you were there, and I timed out and got handed Lev Bell. But I was okay with it after I looked at it some more. And I'm like, you know what? He could go somewhere good. What's up, Marcus Lopez? Bryson has a question here. The Chargers had 2 to 3 years of playoff bursts until Rivers couldn't get his act together. Do you think after 2 to 3 years of early draft picks and free agency signing, could the Chargers be a playoff contender? Bryson, I mean, there's a lot of what ifs there and a lot of things that have to happen for you to be a playoff contending team, let alone a team that can win it or take it all the way or at least get to the Super Bowl. The problem you're going to have is if you take a Tua's going to have to get fully healthy, and he's probably going to ride the bench. He wants to ride the bench. His coach wants him to ride the bench. So if you went after a Tua or whoever, it's going to take a good 2.5 years before that QB's, fully firing on all cylinders. Could be 3. Could be 4, but it could be 2 to 3. Keenan Allen's not getting any younger. I don't even know what his contract looks like, to be honest with you, off the top of my head. Eckler's going to have, a good 2 to 3 years. What happens? You got to really fill your backup spots really well and build your team properly for it all to line up again in 2 or 3 years. But I feel like you have a good shot with Rivers under center, but will you win it? Probably not. But you won't win it without Rivers. So, I don't know. Keeping Rivers and trying it and then drafting Tua or a quarterback to play behind him, why wouldn't that be the best move? I don't know why they didn't bring Rivers back for one more year and have him groom a Tua or a Herbert or whoever. Why didn't they bring him back to groom? I don't know the answer to that. James Washington, solid wide receiver 2. Nah, he's okay. I'm not a big fan of Washington. I think the Chargers are in the best spot for Brady, says Jake. I hope so. If Brady lands with the Chargers, I think Brady could take them all the way right away. I don't know that they'll win, but he could definitely take them to the Super Bowl. Why would Brady go to the Raiders? Like, let's think about this for a second. Easy game. I'm not saying you're wrong or that it won't happen. Anything can happen, dude. But why would he go to the Raiders? I don't know. I don't see it. They have some options. I mean, I like Jacobs. I think he could develop into a really good fantasy QB or running back. So Jacobs is a focal point of that offense. I like Waller a ton. I'm not sure he'll have the receiver support he wants or will desire or command, and maybe they'd make a change, bring somebody in. I don't know, but I'm not a big fan of that landing spot at all. I don't think Tom Brady thinks he's winning a Super Bowl in Oakland. I don't. San Francisco not getting rid of Jimmy G, and they shouldn't. I agree. I think it's ridiculous. All this Jimmy G's horrible. Kyle Shanahan needs to be fired. Like, they got to the freaking Super Bowl. What more do people want? Because they didn't capitalize on 1 or 2 plays that changed the direction of the game. Like, give me a break. People need to really think about that. Step back from who? Rivers or one of the rookies? I'm saying, Jose, that the Chargers should bring Rivers back for 1 year to groom the rookie. What's up, Silver? Silver in the house. I'll put your comment on here. Give you a little shout out, Silver. I know I missed some stuff up here. Umberger is a legend. Absolutely he is. Way to go, Umberger. I want to like AJ, but I'm worried about Tennessee QB situation. Why? Tannehill did pretty well, man. And that's another one that people are just completely writing off after a game or two. They're like, oh, see, Tannehill didn't have it. Why is everybody so quick? No, not going at you, Jordan. Thoughts on AJ Brown? Let's get right into that, Cole. Why is everybody so quick to write freaking Tannehill off and so quick to write Jimmy G off? Jimmy G was never an elite fantasy QB, or wouldn't be in San Francisco at least. I think in the right spot he could do really well. We saw in New England he threw the ball a lot, and that scheme is good for him to do well. He actually came from a small college, and Jimmy G was a good passing QB. He wasn't just a game manager. He's being asked to just manage the game over in San Francisco, and so that's why we're seeing the version of Jimmy G that we're seeing. He's actually a good passer and could get a lot of yards and scores if he was in the right offense. San Francisco doesn't want to run that kind of offense. They're defensive oriented. They want a game manager that can air it out when they need to, throw it downfield when they need to. He's he's got a great rapport with Deebo Samuel, who's becoming potentially the next Anquan Bolden meets Steve Smith, although he could be capped in the 70 reception range maybe in San Francisco, whereas if Deebo had a more high-octane passing attack, he could be like a 90 reception receiver. I love Deebo. I think Deebo could be a 100 reception receiver. He's that good, but I don't think he'll get that kind of volume in San Francisco. Jerry Jeudy, CeeDee Lamb, both my top 2 wide receivers. heading into 2020. It looks like we have a couple questions about rookie wide receivers. I can get into that. TikTok, if you have a question, ask away. I'm definitely here for you as well. Should the Eagles get rid of Wentz? Wentz won't be able to stay healthy, but he's a good quarterback when he's on the field. What do you do in that situation? Do you hope that he stays healthy and give him another try, or do you just back him up properly? But, I mean, I'm not holding my breath that Wentz could ever play 16 games and march you to a Super Bowl at the same time. That's just too much what ifs that need to line up for me. I don't see it, but does he have the talent if he stayed healthy? Wentz does. He does. I like Wentz a lot, talent-wise. I do not like him at all, big picture-wise, because the guy can't stay healthy. So, in the end, I'm not a huge believer that he's going to get it done for you. Debo, you want bad next year, says Jake. Joshua says, Smitty, imagine the Niners offense if they kept the defense the way they have it with that kind of offense. But a lot of times a slow-paced offense or a game management type offense does go hand in hand with a good defense. Not that you couldn't run a crazy high-octane offense, but they drain the clock out. Your defense is going to get tired and give up more plays and stuff. They play let's drain the clock and run the ball. So I don't know, you'd have the same defensive stats too if you're throwing the ball a ton of your defense is back on the field constantly. That's why the Rams were always high scoring. That's why the Chiefs typically have been. Although the Chiefs have a very underrated defense, if you look at the later half of the season, people don't really respect them, and they did well. Smitty, can you read my comment about Jalen Hurts? I think a big sleeper is Allen Robinson. I'm a big Bears fan over here, and he's such a good player. And then above that, Smitty, do you think Jalen Hurts could be a QB number 2? Yeah. I honestly have to look at him more. What are your thoughts on this Georgia running back looking like the top one next year? Let me talk about rookies. So let's get to it. Swift is good. Don't sleep on Taylor, says all day, and I agree with him. So here's the thing about the rookie running back class in 2020. Let me go over it. Can you give me a shout out? Sharky fan. Don't laugh, YouTube. That's what the TikTokers want. They want shout outs, right? Right, Sharky? Glad to have you a part of the show, my friend. You got Watson, Cook, Henry, Ingram, Hill, Debo, Edelman, Cook, or Cooks, Hawkinson. Okay, so let's talk about rookies. You ready, Sharky? Let's talk rookies, bro. Nick says, do you think I should trade CMC to release? Nick, you asked me this before, and I told you keep Christian McCaffrey because he scores you so many points. Your options you've given me before regarding McCaffrey, I don't like those options, man. If you have different ones, you can throw an example at me, but a vague, should I get rid of McCaffrey to get more? I can't answer that unless I know the options. So give me some options, and I'll tell you whether I think you should. But from what I've gathered before, keep McCaffrey because you're not going to get anything close to that value back with your money spent based on who's available, based on what I remember. Taylor, okay, so here's the rookie stuff. What's up, Mark? Welcome. I'm on YouTube, but I'm also live here on TikTok. Jerry Jeudy, the top ranked wide receiver, probably without question, without hesitation, without equivocation, without any other interpretation. CeeDee Lamb is my number 2. Antonio Gandy Golden. That's a mouthful. Gandy Golden. You're a hockey fan. Gandy Golden could be that wide receiver like Debo. And I had Debo really high. He's on my bold predictions list for 2019. And I only had, I think, 14 total bold predictions. So obviously I liked Debo, right? What's up, Ryan? I think Gandy Golden could be this year's version of that Debo Samuel or like an AJ Brown. I really think Andy Golden could be amazing. He could land in Arizona. He could land in New York with the Giants. He could land anywhere because he could land with any team because he's going to be underrated, meaning he's going to go several cycles through the draft in terms of these teams getting a chance to pick, and he could be some team's third pick, some team's second pick. His combine and pro day could vault him into the top 3 wide receivers, but he could also fall into like the 6th taken wide receiver in 2020 in the NFL draft. Jerry Jeudy will be a top 5 pick easily. He has all the skills of a young. Yeah, he definitely could go in the top 5 to 7 picks easy in the NFL draft, and he could be argued as the top rookie player overall, running backs, wide receivers, heading into 2020 rookie only drafts TikTok. So I'm talking to you, TikTok. So I would be fine if somebody said, Smitty, I've got the number 1 pick in my rookie draft, and I'm going with Jerry Jeudy. I'd be like, march on with your badass self, because Jerry Jeudy could be the next Randy Moss, and that's not even a fair comp. I mean, that's a great comp. I don't think it's a fair comp to Randy, because Randy Moss is like the greatest of all time for wide receivers in fantasy, but I think it's hard to comp Jerry Jeudy because there really is no wide receiver that resembles him in the NFL currently. Jerry Jeudy, to me, is like a morph of like 5 different players. He's like Devontae Adams meets Tyreek Hill. Not as fast as Tyreek Hill, but meets Tyreek Hill in terms of his play and how he knifes across the middle. Meets a Randy Moss, but he's smaller and he doesn't go up and get a ball quite like Randy Moss did, but he does go up and get a ball, and he does look very, very, very good. But I think Jerry Jeudy's a top 1 to 3 overall player, especially if we're talking PPR. But I think one of these running backs, J.K. Dobbins, DeAndre Swift, Jonathan Taylor, probably a couple others might have a shot at being in the top 3, but I think one of those 3 will be the number 1. So while a Cam Akers or a Zach Moss or a Benjamin or Devonta Smith or somebody like that could climb into the top 3 rookie running backs overall, I think it will, the 1.01 in most all 2020 rookie-only fantasy football drafts will most likely be J.K. Dobbins, DeAndre Swift, or Jonathan Taylor, and mix in Jerry Jeudy in there, and really you could put it in a blender, and it wouldn't be that ridiculous to look at anybody's ranking in any order of those 4. Landing spot determines a ton. Do you like Justin Bieber? No. I don't have time for Justin Bieber. Sorry that my friend disrespected you. I don't care, Nick. It's fine. Your friend didn't know what he was talking about. He didn't know who I am. Not saying that, I'm almighty. I'm just saying like he didn't even know what I did. He was like, if you listen to him, you're going to lose, because he didn't like the advice or whatever. It's fine. I love how he said no offense, though, after he said that. like it wouldn't be offensive to a normal person. Where do you draft Josh Jacobs? Preferably the top of the 2nd round. More worried about ball security issues with Taylor transitioning to the NFL than height, says Jordan. Kittle has played hurt for a while now, says Marcus. I'm seeing him fall to the Jets in a lot of mock drafts. I'm praying. You talking about Jeudy? Who are you talking about? Barry Sanders is 5'8". I'm not worried about height, says Jordan. Do you feel that Kelsey solidified his spot as ahead of Kittle in 2020? No, Silver, because this kind of goes back to what we were talking about a minute ago, Silver, that one game determines everything for people. It's so weird. People have the worst knee-jerk reactions. If Kittle would have had 80 yards and a touchdown, I would have got that same question 10 times over from other people. Thanks, Balls Life, for the super chat. Computer, super chat.
Yes, Smitty. Thank you for the super. May I have another?
And by the way, if any TikTokers give me a prize, you get that little shout out as well from the computer. If Kittle would have had 80 yards and a touchdown in that Super Bowl game, you would have had everybody asking me, Smitty, So now are we ready to put Kittle number 1? It's funny. It's just funny. They're both elite. Either one of them could be the number 1 tight end in 2020. Waller or Andrews, or I'm not a big fan of Hooper like other people are. Thanks again, Balls Life. Hi back to you, by the way. Hooper, to me, I've seen Hooper ranked at like 2. I've seen him ranked at number 3. It's crazy. Do I have a hockey channel? No, Sharky. I only do football because I am so embedded in this. I know you're new to following me, but like I literally do football 365. I do it full time. I've been doing it full time for a long time now. I'm on CBS Sports Radio. You can find me during the year. I think we're going to do Wednesday nights moving forward. But that's where you can find me, Sharky. And I broadcast that live on my YouTube channel. I'll probably do a stream here on TikTok as well. 1 or 2 shows while I'm on YouTube. Should I get rid of Hooper? I'd sell him high because people are really high on Hooper right now. It's crazy. People are crazy, stupid high on Hooper. I'm not saying Hooper can't be a top 5 tight end, but why people are so quick to rank him 2nd or 3rd? No way. Give me Andrews. Give me Waller. Kittle, I think, should be first. You could make an argument. I don't think KC drafts a running back. They could. Don't put it past them. Damian. Why didn't they use Damian like this in 2019? It makes me so mad because that's another one where I feel like I missed, but I feel like I'm right even though I'm missing on a couple of the players this year that you could call the ones that I did miss. And I do call out my own misses. A lot of people just hide the picks that they've missed. I love to call them out. I'm not a big hockey fan. I don't have time for anything like that. It's all football for me. People have Hooper number 2. I've seen Hooper, I should say very rarely 2. I've seen it before. But I'd say he's been 3 a lot. I've seen him rank number 3 a lot. So let's more so talk about that. Because you're right. It's not often, but I've seen him too. I've seen somebody be really super bold on him. Don't think Casey drafts a running back, says Dylan again. Let me readdress that. They could. Williams sucked, says Zachary. He didn't suck. He wasn't used. And he was the 2nd or 3rd best running back in 2019 in his last 6 games. He scored 10 TDs, averaged over 100 total yards a game over his last 6 contests, and that goes into the playoffs of 2019. But he was an absolute beast. Hooper is boring as hell. I agree, Silver. Back to the rookie running backs. So J.K. Dobbins could be the number 1.01, but Jonathan Taylor in the right spot could be the 1.01. Literally, Swift, Dobbins, and Taylor, it boils down to landing spot. But do I think that Dobbins is probably the most talented? Probably. I think he reminds me of more of a every down complete potential monster, like a Kamara, like overall, that could just be really, really well-rounded player at the NFL level. Swift could be as well. Swift, I think, I don't like Swift as much, but he could grow on me in the right spot. Let me just put it that way. And Taylor too. But give me J.K. Dobbins at 1.01 right now and Jerry Jeudy 1.02. That's how I rank them. Then I go back to Swift for my 1.03 and Taylor as my 1.04. My super sleeper players in this draft, and I wouldn't even call him a super sleeper because a lot of people do like him, but CeeDee Lamb's my number 2 wide receivers. I've seen him ranked lower than that all the time. Justin Jefferson's pretty good for wide receivers. Antonio Gandy Golden's my deep sleeper. I think he could be top 2 or 3 wide receiver in this draft class. Henry Ruggs the third is really good. Chenault could be really good. I need to raise him up on my rankings a bit. I have him pretty low. He could be really good. He could be like the next Julio-ish. Julio Jones meets, I don't know. Darwin almost had a TD in the Super Bowl. LOL, says Silver. There probably won't be a legit running back later in the draft, and I feel like KC has a bigger need than running back. I don't know. You could say KC has much of a need at all, bro. KC's lit. Darwin. Come on, TikTok. What you got for me? Go Bruins, says Ryan. This year looks deep at wide receiver. I agree. Last year was deep, too. Oh, sorry, Nick. Nick, while I'm on the live, I'll get you going. Let me just get over to YouTube real quick. I gotta do something first. What you guys got for me? Hit me with some questions. How do you feel about Hubbard? Well, he's returning to college football, so I don't like the fact that he's not entering the pros. Hubbard could have been good, and he could have really grabbed a hold of that second, maybe first, but probably second running back spot in the rookie running back rankings, but going back was not wise, I don't think. I mean, I don't know what I should say that. I mean, he could have did it for 100 different reasons, but fantasy-wise, I think he could have had. I think I think he's going to have more competition next year than he thinks. Whereas this year, everybody talked about how amazing the running back class was, but honestly, and I know I'm going to take some flack for this, but I really like last year's running back class. As much, maybe a little less, but I think the problem is we didn't get to see Monty unleashed, and we may never. We didn't get to see Singletary get unleashed until, a little bit at the end. But Singletary to me, Monty to me, and Darrell Henderson were totally misused across the board. And Etienne as well. Etienne would have been my number one by far, 1.01 without question. I would have had him number one. Jerry Jeudy didn't even have a shot to take Etienne out of my top 1.01 ranking. There's no way Etienne would have been removed. I love Etienne. I don't think this is going to help him. Why put more miles on the tires at the college level? I don't like it. It really frustrated me. Etienne was like the one player I was so excited about coming out of this draft class. Him and Jeudy, revolutionary. And I like J.K. Dobbins, but J.K. Dobbins with situations is going to make him elite. But man, did I absolutely love the idea of sorry, I'm just watching some weirdo outside my house on my security surveillance. What are you doing? What are you doing? Remember when I showed you guys that footage of that guy trying to break into my house? Still trying to find that creep. And then this guy's walking out front. I should share my screen. If I ever see anything crazy, I'm going to share my screen so you guys can see it. Anyways, where was I? I get sidetracked so easily. TikTok, what you got? Who do you think is going to win the next Super Bowl? Sharky, good question. I'm going to roll with Kansas City facing off against the New Orleans Saints. How do you like that? I think they still have so many weapons, and I think the Saints are just a good team. Could it be the Niners again? Maybe, yeah. I think the Niners will be top five team in the NFL. But if I had to say, I'd say the Niners and the Saints on one side of the fence facing off against the two best teams in either the Texans or the Ravens to go along with the Chiefs. So that would be my top four teams. Next, Dalvin Cook. You know the answer to that, Nick. You follow my content like crazy. The answer is Kenyon motherfreaking Drake. That's who, Nick. That's who. Now I got to find you, Nick, and give you access. Hold on. I'm not giving you the advice portion as well, Nick, because it's just too much work to give that feature away. But I'm going to definitely wire you up right now. Nick, what's let me see. Nick, what's your username over there? Have you ever had... Yeah, you had it last year, didn't you? Friend wants Debo, $10 for 3 years. For Drake, $16 for 1. That's a tough one. I mean, Debo probably commands more, so I don't know that I would do that because I feel like you can get Drake cheaper if you won't give Drake up and you need a running back. It's not crazy. But I think Debo's safer, to be honest with you. But I love Drake. I want to own Drake in so many leagues, but I just think that like that's where you got to use your brain and say, I'm not going to just take Drake, get Drake, find a way to get Drake. But I feel like you can do it cheaper, and you should be able to do it cheaper. Easy game. Niners, almost anybody on offense. Hard to predict Debo's ADP. Yeah. I kind of want to tell you Drake, Nick. Does Hollywood Brown explode? Yes, he does, Jim. Jim, are you on sleeperu.com? Because I have Hollywood Brown as a big breakout in 2020. Where was MT's comment? MT, you said something up above and I missed it. MT, what up, Smitty? What up, chat? What up, Kansas City? We actually did it. Super Bowl ring, bling bling trophy, fire emojis. MT in the house. MT, glad to have you. Sorry I missed that intro by you. Ball is life with another super chat. Computer, super chat.
Yes, Smitty. Thank you for the super. May I have another?
Thank you for that super chat. Ball is life. Always appreciated. Never expected. You are the man, the myth, the legend. Ball is life. DJ Moore, the real deal ? Do you think? What do you think? Great question. Great question, my friend. Jim says, boom. What are you talking about, Jim? Did you just subscribe? Is that what you mean, Jim? I'll check. Jim, what was your question? You said something about Hollywood Brown. Yeah, so look for something on him very, very soon. In fact, Jim, I will make it a point. I'm not sure if you said boom because you subscribed to sleeperu.com. It's sleeper, the letter u.com. It's not sleeper. Sleeper U, like university. Maybe you already subscribed. But Jim, I will push something ahead for you and create a spotlight, a player spotlight on Hollywood Brown. So I'll do that for you and I'll put it up. Nick, what is your username? No, Nick, that's what I said. I'm giving you the content product, not the question one. You can ask questions in the live chat, though, but I can't give the question one out because it's too much work. It's like you don't understand how many questions I get from everybody. If I gave that out to everybody, I would be not getting anything done. So, no, it'll just be the content. But you can ask questions in the live. Smitty, think Tevin Coleman, Breida get shipped away? Maybe. Raheem Mostert will be on everyone's team. And some guy really wants this. Slept on a great Super Bowl. Blah, 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 blah. Damian Williams thoughts. We already talked about Damian Williams, so I'm not going to rewatch the show on that one. But basically, in a nutshell, we don't know if they're going to use him. Yeah, of course, Nick. I'm not going to not answer your question on YouTube. Damian has the talent, but we still don't know if he has a situation. For everybody thinking that Damian's just going to be handed. What's up, Sharky? Thanks for answering my questions. Bye. See you, Sharky. What's up, Chris? If you've got a question, ask it. User 36012, if you've got a question, ask it. Smith70, if you have a question, ask it. I'm here to answer your questions. And you're on the Fantasy Football Show on YouTube as well, because I'm streaming that right now. Lev Bell to KC would be interesting, Jim. All day, he predicted KC to win 41-38. Took notes on y'all. I was excited for the win, MT. Let's put it that way. Big Mahomes fan. I'm a big Mahomes fan. Not a fan of his brother though. His brother is, what is he doing? Chubb over Henry and PPR. Crazy question mark? No, that's an even. I think Chubb and Henry both have a mix of risk. They both have a mix of huge monster upside. I tend to avoid both at a place where people are picking them, though. I'm not saying bust. I'm not saying I don't pick Chubb or Henry at all. Like, I have a line where I draw and I say if they cross this line, I will draft them. What did you miss? You're back. Nah, I don't know. I'm not sure. Smitty, if you were the owner of the Cowboys, would you give Dak Prescott the money he's asking for? You almost have to. Without a QB, and he's a good QB, it's hard. And I think that they'd be dumb. They could franchise him 1 year, and then they could try and, get a deal done with him next year. And, I don't think that's a bad business move for them, but I don't know. I think, if they want to make him happy, he'll... Oh, DJ Moore. Balls Life. Did I not answer your DJ Moore question? I'm sorry, Balls Life. Hopefully you're still here. Balls Life asked me about DJ Moore. Is he the real deal? I get sidetracked so easily. I think DJ Moore is the real deal. However, his situation's volatile, and we don't really know what's going on at the QB position for him, ultimately. And, I'm just not too sure that I'm ready to bank on him at the value he's commanding. And I've seen DJ Moore. God, we did a mock draft where someone drafted him. Maybe it was you, Balls Life. If it is, I'm sorry ahead of time. I saw someone throw his name out like when we were doing a mock in like the second round. And I hope that wasn't you, Balls Life. That's crazy, man. Third round's way too high for DJ Moore for me. Like, I like DJ Moore. I like the opportunity he has, but I am not taking him as my third drafted player, let alone the second or anything like that. Like, DJ Moore needs to be a guy that could really earn a lot of value for the given cost. You're not getting that shit third round. You're overpaying and you're expecting the world, or you lose out. You can't take him that early. I love Mixon too. Held on to him. This is from Dylan. Definitely paid off grabbing him. Next year will be, yeah. He did good at the end of the year. I did worry about him a ton, and I think I was right for majority of the year. There's reason to be concerned about that offense and it holding him back. That he's going to see a lot of 8-man fronts. I like Mixon more this year coming into 2020 than I did last year. If that makes you feel better. So many variables with other contracts when writing a huge QB contract. That's why I think he probably gets franchised. Business move wise, it's the best. Thoughts on Tyler Boyd and Calvin Ridley? I think both have really good wide receiver 2 potential. Just make sure you're buying them at wide receiver 3 value in 2020 because you can. And if somebody wants to take them early, let them. You have to. The best way to GM is to learn to draw those lines in the sand and say, I don't care how much I like Derrick Henry. Where is my line in the sand of where I believe the risk isn't out? The upside outweighs the risk. You got to find out where that line is for you on every single player. And you have to be disciplined enough to not cross that line just because you get excited about the guy. So for me, guys like Chubb have a line that's drawn a lot lower than other people I think have for him. I worry about just the guy getting hurt. He had one of the most gruesome knee injuries ever. He's a big, aggressive running back that, yeah, some running backs I like are his size, and it doesn't bother me. But with his injury history, the fact that Chubb doesn't pull in a ton of passes and he does all his work between the tackles, I did misspeak during our mock draft. I got called out on it when I said Fournette doesn't pull in passes. Fournette pulled in 70-plus passes last year. In general, he hasn't. He pulled in a lot of passes last year, but I predict, and this is where my wording was off, because I was doing a mock draft. I got 100 things going on, but Fournette, to me, I think will return to nowhere near 70-plus reception value in 2020. I think Fournette isn't typically thought of to be a running back that's a PPR machine. He did really well in 2020. They leaned on him heavily in both the rushing and passing game, something I think won't be an anomaly, so to speak, but I think he'll be back down quite a ways in terms of the receptions. I don't see him having this big a year. Taking Mixon over Chubb and Henry, says Ryan. Kyle Allen isn't the answer, though. Ha, says Marcus. That's why I worry about DJ Moore. QB changes are not good for receivers that are developing and they need rapport with a QB. Could he still do well? Yeah, if he gets a really good passer, maybe he just thrives. But I've not taken DJ Moore higher than I have to. No, I didn't, Nick. Where's your username? Let's see. I'm still waiting on that. Balls Life, hopefully that answered your question. Nick, why am I not seeing it, Nick? I'll look you up by email because I don't see your... Unless you paste it in again for me real quick, Nick. But do it quick because all the comments will drown it out, man. I've got the screen up. I'll wait to give you access. I just need your username. And by the time I see it, I've got like 10 questions that go by. Taylor, I think you might have to... Everyone taking Mixon. What? The Jags love Fournette, though. Dylan, this is true. I know I'm biased against Fournette, but it's not because of any like strange reason. It's because I fear you guys gave me a lot of flack for being down on Lockett and being down on Carson in 2019, and I that was probably the two players I heard it constantly from. Like a lot of you guys are like, you respect all the opinions I have. You're such a respectful group. We have an awesome community. But those two players I know were the ones where like even everybody that loves the content, they're like, Smitty, you're too hard on Carson. Smitty, you're too hard on Lockett. Well, toward the end of the year, man, we started to see what I feared, that we were all going to be worried about him. And I think, like, look at right now. A lot of people are ranking DK ahead of Lockett. So Lockett had some questionable value. Nick, what's your username? Paste it in. I got it waiting here. What team has the best mascot? I don't know, man. Could Galladay be a wide receiver 1 in 2020? Those are the questions we want, Sharky. Come on. Hit me with something good. Yeah, he could. He could be a low-end wide receiver 1. I wouldn't put him in the top 2 or 3. Fournette has 3, so I think they might use Armstead Bohr. I think Fournette is just a potential injury waiting to happen, and I could be wrong for a year. You could blow up for one more year and then get hurt, but Fournette is a big dude. Massive workload, super overworked. Okay, MT sending over your email. Thank you, MT. Nick, let me give you access. It's not coming up, Nick, as your username. I got a 2 true. Is that you? Maybe you forgot that's your login. Does it sound familiar? Heard something today. Pick Stafford as their early MVP for next year. Oh, God, that's awful. How do you feel about the XFL? If XFL can shove it. I honestly don't care about it. I don't have time. I shouldn't say I don't care. I shouldn't say shove it. I'm kidding. I'm kidding with my aggressiveness toward that. I don't have time for it, so it's not going to get my attention at all. I don't like, a lot of people are doing content on both and stuff. I've noticed that. How? It's going to take away from the NFL content. I don't want to do anything. I have such little, I don't have enough time. I have like 8 platforms that I'm producing content on. Now I'm on TikTok as well. What's up at 1822? I'm out of ideas, says Sharky. 516, what's up? Glad to have you in the chat. I don't have time. I'm doing 8 different platforms of content. Yeah, that's the one, Nick. Okay. 2 true, and then B. And another word with the letter B. That's you. That's you, Nick. Manual. Okay, Nick, you're good. Log in. You should be able to see the bold predictions, and then you'll know you're good. Let me know. What's up, 1822? I don't know who these people are, says Sharky. They're fans, man. 516, you have a question, ask it, drop it. Drop a question, TikTok, come on. I'm watching the XFL, let's go, Battlehawks. I just don't have time. It's not that it wouldn't be fun, but I don't have time because it takes away from me producing content, so I'm not doing it. I'm not going near it. I don't have time for it. I barely have time to catch up on college football enough to be able to do the rankings and write-ups and stuff early enough. If I took on the XFL, I wouldn't even get to the rookie content, the rookie class. This is true. He Hate Me was the top guy in the XFL last time. He got like 2 minutes in the NFL. Yeah, remember that? Smitty, is Tyreek Hill a top 5 fastest player you've ever seen? He might be, dude. All right, guys. It was a good show today. Let's do the outro music. For the TikTok group, this is the outro music. That means that anybody super chats, they start the music over and keep the show going. But we are calling it a wrap tonight. For those that don't know, you can get on over to Monkey Knife Fight using the link that I have here. Let me post this. Let's stop the music for a second. 0 running back strategy. I talked about that earlier. I think. Maybe I didn't. Yeah, maybe not on this live. But real quickly, let me pay the bills. Monkey Knife Fight. Use this link right here, mkf.win/Smitty. They'll match up to $50 bonus on a first-time depositor using my link and using my promo code Smitty at deposit time. This is the best way to play DFS. And, yeah, the football season's over, but they're still doing fantasy contests. So get on over to Monkey Knife Fight and get your fix. Now, what else was I saying? Zero running back, I would say depends on flow of draft, but I do like 0 running back. Now the outro music. I was going to do something else. I don't know. I don't know what else I was going to say. Bye, I'm watching NHL, so bye. See you, Sharky. Still love the 49ers fans. You guys going to be around for a while with that squad. Yes, I do think they're going to be around for a while. I'll probably will also. Which team he on, says Jake. Talking about XFL. Get out of here with the XFL. Come on. Should I get rid of Aaron Rodgers? Nick, depends for what. Don't buy into the he's done talk, but I don't think you'll get anything for him. I'm not making fun of anybody watching the XFL. Honestly, if I had time, I would. Let me put it that way. I was kind of joking, but I just don't have time. Get on it. Don't get rid of A-Rod unless it's for a good value. I still like A-Rod a lot. Take it easy, Ryan. Where do you see Burrow finish next year? Middle of the pack, if that. I think he could have some good games, some moments. Look at Daniel Jones. Looked great at times. Kind of vanished. Daniel Jones and Kyler Murray are my top two deep sleeper QBs that could break out in a major way in 2020. Go get yourself some Daniel Jones and Kyler Murray shares in 2020. All right, guys, I appreciate all of you. Thank you for following the Fantasy Football Show. Subscribe, follow, tell your friends. Go to the water cooler and tell people to get in the mix here on the Fantasy Football Show. You can find me at thefantasyfootballshow.com. You can find me at youtube.com/thefantasyfootballshow. You can find me at sleeperu.com. You can also find me on all of my social media platforms. For the most part, I'm the Fantasy Football Show. On Twitter, I have a different username, the.smitty.show. Or I'm sorry, underscore. _Smitty_show on Twitter. But on Instagram, on TikTok, and YouTube, I have the Fantasy Football Show. Dylan says, Dill, I call you Dylan, but Dill says, thanks, Smitty, love the show. Later, says Jake. Jose says, new to the show, however, all in, man. Thank you, Jose. Damn glad to have you. And make sure you take a look at sleeperu.com, Jose, because that's where you're going to get all the bold content, bold predictions, everything. Later, guys. I appreciate you. I might be back Thursday. I don't know if we'll mock draft Thursday. We might. So get ready. Later, Silver.